The moment you clicked on this video, a major change happened in your brain. A part of your brain is trying to calculate, within these 3 to 4 seconds, whether you should keep your attention on this video or shift to something much easier. Your brain does this exact same calculation thousands of times a day, and that is why you aren't able to get any important work done at all. But what if I taught you 3 ways through which the same brain circuits that are currently stopping you from working hard end up getting you addicted to discipline? Look, right now, you think that being disciplined means you are extremely tough, or that you can endure more pain than others. But that is not what being disciplined is. Being disciplined simply means that you have designed your entire environment in such a way that working is easier for you than relaxing. Now, when I was in school, I was barely passing my classes. I didn't have the friends I wanted. I felt extremely weak and insecure in my body, and I had a lot of personal problems. I used to feel that I had so many problems solely because I wasn't disciplined. But when I started adding different kinds of systems to my environment, where going to the gym was easier than being lazy, where keeping good friends was easier than making bad ones, and where studying was easier than slacking off, suddenly, everyone started calling me disciplined. For example, I have a sweet tooth, meaning I really love eating sugar. So what do I do sometimes? I take my protein and use it in recipes, or I make a protein shake and drink it. But sometimes, you just don't feel like making a protein shake because you know you have to put it in the shaker, make it, and then clean it. Otherwise, it will smell. So sometimes you just don't feel like it, and you're feeling lazy. To combat this, I always keep some kind of ready-to-drink protein shake with me. It's economical, not very expensive, and it saves you a lot of time. Sometimes I get cravings, and I need to chew on something. This happens to us a lot in the modern world. It's a habit. So I always keep some kind of chewing gum on me. You should use sugar-free gum. And when you are chewing that, the brain gets a signal that maybe food has arrived, and whatever craving you have gets delayed for a while. In my childhood, I watched an episode of Man vs. Wild. Bear Grylls was in a very, very cold place, and he was carrying just one last piece of gum in his pocket. He says, "I have nothing else to eat, but my body isn't producing any energy because there is no food around." So to maintain his motivation, he would take that gum out every little while, chew whatever little juice was left in it, and swallow it, just so his brain would keep giving him motivation and energy. So, this is how you trick your brain. Now, for instance, until some time ago, I wasn't getting the chance to read, and I felt a lot of guilt about this, because after working all day, where will you find the time to read anything or learn something new? So I decided that I would keep bedside tables, and on top of them, I always keep the books we need to read. And just before sleeping, it is a part of my routine to read books. Because being disciplined, whether it's reading books or doing anything else, becomes very easy and automatic if you set up your environment this way. It's not that you are lazy by default, because on some level, everyone is lazy. But many people, just to sustain their discipline, instead of going against this basic nature, flow with it, and they achieve all their goals while still being lazy. Now, if you say, "All right, all these things sound good in theory, but how do I install systems in my environment and make my discipline automatic?" Let's understand this with point number 1. Number 1, pick a date and time when you will track your entire day. This will be very irritating, but this technique will change your entire life, forever. See, before becoming productive, you need to find out exactly how you are actually spending every single minute of your day. Tomorrow morning, as soon as you wake up, set an alarm on your phone for every 15 minutes. For example, if you wake up at 8 a.m., then an alarm should go off at 8:15, 8:30, 8:45, 9 o'clock, and so on. As soon as that alarm rings, open your Notes app and write down exactly where you spent your last 15 minutes. Obviously, you will have to put in a lot of effort throughout the day to track these things. But I guarantee you that this day will be your most productive day. Because just like you get a bank statement where you can track your expenses, credits, debits, and everything else, similarly, when you start tracking your time, you basically create your time statement. You know exactly how you are spending every minute of your day. And this is also a part of building systems. Choosing one day every month where you track your entire day to extract the best results from your time. When you have the account of your whole day, you will know exactly what things are taking up most of your time and exactly what things in your environment are making it so hard for you to stay disciplined. Because your phone is nearby, do you repeatedly pick it up and start scrolling? When you go to your kitchen and open the cabinet, are there cookies, savory snacks, and all sorts of tasty things lying around, causing you to have constant cravings? Or do you do most of your work sitting on your bed, which is why sometimes you feel sleepy and other times you can't focus? Write down exactly where your time is going and what things are making you feel distracted. Number 2, don't try to kill a behavior. Just find an alternative. For people who have been undisciplined for a long time, becoming disciplined overnight is impossible. If you decide today that you will go to the gym regularly or study and work for 10 to 12 hours, you won't be able to do it. You'll burn out very quickly, and then you will hate discipline. Because all these things are very difficult, and you are used to easy things. So what do we do in such a situation? We will try to find an alternative. We ask ourselves, instead of performing this bad habit, what can I do in its place? If every night I have a habit of eating ice cream with sprinkles and Oreos mixed in, why don't I eat ice cream without sprinkles and Oreos for a few days, or just reduce the quantity of my ice cream instead of quitting it straight away? Because I am used to it. If I have a drinking habit and I can't give it up, then whenever I go out partying with my friends, instead of ordering cocktails loaded with sugar syrups and artificial flavors, I can get my drink with soda so that my sugar consumption goes down. Or I can have drinks like a virgin mojito so that my alcohol intake decreases. Or, if my bad habit is that whenever I feel hungry, I go to the kitchen and grab something unhealthy to eat, then why don't I take out the cookies, Maggi, or chips from the places I've kept them and put nuts, chewing gum, or cardamom in the exact same spot? That way, whenever my hand reaches there, it grabs a healthy item instead. My biggest hack for staying disciplined has always been that whether I'm at home, at parties, or anywhere else, I have always looked for alternatives. People always think that since this guy teaches us about becoming disciplined and productive, this guy himself probably never goes to any parties. He probably just sits at home and lives a boring life. But that's not true. 10 years ago, even when I was in college, when I started gaining a little sense, I had already started calculating that if I'm going out drinking with friends, which drink causes the least amount of harm? So what are we always looking for? We are always looking for an alternative. We don't need to create a holier-than-thou, overly innocent image in front of everyone. Because where are you going to get by being so righteous? You haven't understood the evil within yourself. You need to master a balance within yourself. Instead of completely healing and fixing yourself overnight, you need to gradually shift yourself. And there should be a spectrum within you. You should have control, realizing that if I am slowly opening myself up and trying to transition from bad to good, from bad habits to good habits, then it won't happen overnight. So I have to accept it. Of course, it would be way better if everyone could give up their drinking, smoking, or any bad habit overnight. Or if you go to a therapist, they have this understanding and empathy that people cannot change themselves easily. For instance, a client came to me who had a masturbation addiction and nothing was working for him. We tried a lot of things, but nothing worked. So I asked him what kind of porn he was watching and how he was stimulating his mind. He told me something very deep. He watched a kind of porn where there was extreme stimulation, hardcore sex, different kinds of noises, and some sort of punishment involved. So I developed a system with him where I helped him shift from this hyper-stimulating porn to normal porn, then shift to movies, and finally to living a purpose-driven life in reality where he could actually involve and attract real women into his life. Because that was his actual desire, which wasn't being fulfilled. It might sound funny to hear how someone can advise their client to watch one type of porn instead of another, but you have to show this kind of empathy. Because no person can change overnight. Not everyone has that kind of willpower, and willpower gets exhausted after a point. If someone started smoking just because he wanted to look cool among his friends, then that person can be made to quit smoking very easily, by helping him find something else that again helps him look cool. Because discipline doesn't mean, don't do this, don't do that. Discipline means asking, what should I do instead? If you are saying, don't do this, don't do that, it means your focus is still on the exact things you want to remove from your life. So ask the question, if not this, then what? Because you have a hunger for something inside you. And if you try to kill that hunger, it will try to come out through some other path in unhealthy ways. It's better that you channel that hunger and find a better alternative. Number 3, discipline should not feel like punishment. The most incorrect belief people have about discipline is that it should feel difficult and extremely painful. But by definition, if a task feels too difficult and painful for you, how will you perform it repeatedly and consistently? You will hate it. You will rely on your ego and willpower and somehow manage to finish a difficult task. But after completing it, you'll say to yourself, man, that took so much effort. I feel drained, and I wouldn't want to do this again. By doing this, you are punishing yourself. And this also means that over time, your brain learns that it needs to avoid this kind of work, because it is not work, but a punishment. So the problem actually isn't that you can't be disciplined. The problem is that your ego is so big, your expectations are so high, and you have set such high standards for yourself that you approach your work with anxiety instead of focusing on ease and consistency. So what should we do instead? Simple. Lower your standards temporarily and gather small wins. If you do a small task and you do it every day, you feel good about yourself. When you feel good about yourself, you get more motivation to do that task. You feel like doing it more. But if you try to do a difficult task, even if you somehow manage to do it once, what do you say afterward? You always say, I won't be able to do this task again. I have absolutely no desire to. You don't have to view yourself as a grumpy judge saying, if you don't work now, you'll get a punishment. Instead, look at yourself like a scientist and ask with curiosity, okay, I couldn't do this work. I couldn't be disciplined. Why? And by doing what can I convince myself to do the work? What is my psychology? How am I sabotaging myself? How am I lying to myself? Understand yourself. Go deep within and find this out. Question it like a true scientist. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe to The Midnight Mindset, and comment your thoughts, what you think about this video. See you in the next video.